I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
Electronics appear to come from somewhere inside the building.
Standing here at the base of the skyscraper, or the scene really is one of cannibal.
Gyro balancers are coming to a halt. If they completely stop, the building will come down like a ton of bricks.
Oh my god, he's locking up to the 30 gigawatt satellite laser cannon.
I'm not a cop. I'm just a cyber criminal doing a little bit of community service.
Hey, this is Matt. Once again, we're about to another video. There's another paid request, this time from Will, formerly known as BillBonJovi. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting pretty much any type of video, review, topic, reaction, re-review, out of the blueness, randomness, feel free. You just send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. Now this is for I call it an anime, but it was a three-part show. Each part lasts about 40 minutes, give or take. So if you watch all three of them together, it's like a little over 2 hours. What they call an OVA. It was an anime called City Oedo 808. Which, to be honest, I think that's kind of a lousy title. Cyber City would have worked just fine. I don't think you need the Oedo 808. I mean, just saying, something more simpler I think would have worked out better, at least to me. But I will say I'm not a big anime guy. I've seen some I've enjoyed, whether it be Akira, whether it be what was the one? Damn it, Ninja Scroll. See, I had to pound it a little bit. Pound the rust out of my brain. Finally, yeah, Ninja Scroll I enjoyed. There were a couple others. And this was a fun one. This was a fun one to watch. First off, I like the artwork. I like the design of the city, the way the cars and the cityscape looked. It had this dark, grim look to it that remind you a little bit of stuff like Blade Runner. The animation, especially in the first episode, very well done. This plot is pretty simple enough. The setup is it's the year 2808. You have these three criminals, and they kind of get, think of the Suicide Squad, kind of that template where the police go, hey, you do these jobs for us, you get less and less of your sentence, you get your sentence reduced, more and more so. To some of these guys, they have sentences up to over 300 years. Each successful mission they do, 3 years or 4 or 5 years get dropped down, and then some. So each of these three is each of the three criminals on a different case, different job. And you do see the other two mixed in there, but each one is its own separate story. The first one is this guy named Sengoku, and he's supposed to rescue a bunch of hostages trapped in a skyscraper. They're trapped there because this computer is taking over, and you find out who's actually behind the computer, who's controlling it. And I would say that's easily the best of the 3 stories. The second one has this character named Gogou. Gogou. He wears a mohawk, and he's a bit of a computer hacker. His voice, I don't know if he was trying to do like a New Yorker type of, not Brooklyn, but like a New Yorker type accent. I couldn't quite grasp, or grasp, if I learn how to talk, what his accent was. And that was an okay one. The third one I didn't care about. It stars the third criminal, Benten, who's more of this androgynous, where it's a guy but looks very much like a girl because of the hair, lipstick, androgynous. I don't identify as male or female. One of that. Is that the binary thing people talk about, or am I thinking of something else? I don't know. I'm off the reservation when it comes to that. But that's not why I disliked that one. Because that character is featured in the other 2, and character does just fine. It's just the story deals with a female vampire who wants revenge on what was done to her, and then Benten feels sorry for her, and there's actually another guy doing stuff who's also now a vampire, and that whole story I didn't care about. I didn't care about the plot line to that one. I'll be honest, I kind of wish instead of 3 stories, if you just took the first story and you expanded on it. For me, that would have been much more satisfying to me. Because I thought the premise of the first one was the best. Because, like, Sengoku, he had the most personality. Granted, maybe it's the dub, the UK dub, the way they wrote it. I don't know if this is how it was written originally. This is like Rob Zombie if he wrote the script to an anime. Because, like, all these people, it's like, maybe they thought, whoever the fuck did this for UK or whatever, I guess they thought English meant every other word is a cuss word. Because shithead, how the fuck am I supposed to arrest that? The amount, it got to be ridiculous. It became laughable. It became fucking laughable. Oh, this fucking shithead, and fuck that asshole, and fuck that you eat this dick splash. I'm like, what the fuck is a dick splash? I've never heard of the term dick splash. What the hell does that mean? What is a dick splash? What is a dick splash? I guess semen? Dick splash. I've never heard that phrase before, dick splash. But you hear something new every day, I guess. So again, it's like whoever transcribed it, I don't know if that's in the original Japanese, that's the way they wrote it, or in translation they said every other word have a cuss word. Like, it literally does seem like Rob Zombie wrote this anime, at least the dialogue, I should say. It got quite a bit ridiculous, which maybe that's why Will specifically said watch the UK version. It just got insane, like, fuck this, fuck, and it's like, what? Way past time. Hey, it's way past your bedtime, motherfucker. Yeah, you know what? You can use it sporadically too, and it'll work fine. I love cussing. I cuss a lot too, but even I'm like, this is too much. But there's some really nice animation when we first see these criminals and the setup. The 3 are in shadow, and the commander, the head of this process, throws his bracelet up, and the bracelet stops, and then the titles form out of the bracelet. And yeah, I thought the way certain sequences were animated. Bits where our lead in the first episode, he's firing, and he jams right into his robot's like eye socket and blasting through it. And just the way certain angles and up close shots and that pretty cool old school animation. Oh, the other anime I liked, Space Adventure Cobra, I believe is what it was called. I really enjoyed that one. I think I got the title right. But yeah, I'm not the most knowledgeable on anime. Not by far. But I like the look of it, the designs of it. Like there's the skyscraper these hostages are at. The skyscraper goes so far up, it literally goes into outer space. That's how high the skyscraper is. I thought that's kind of a cool idea. That's not something I've seen. And sorry, I don't know, I keep itching. Well, it's not really itching, it's just... I bumped into something. So if I'm doing this, it's just to ease up some of the pain. So if through these reviews, like, why does he keep fucking with his shirt? That's why. Just like, you know, rubbing it a little bit helps. I know. I should just get an ice pack on. I didn't think of it. Well, I'm sure I'll forget about it by the end of the review. But, yeah, I like the fact that it goes all the way into space. Oh, yeah, that's an interesting idea. I haven't seen that done a lot before. The score, which has this good rock feel to it, is done by a guy named Rory McFarlane. Rory McFarlane. I couldn't find anything else this guy had done. And apparently, I guess the score is only on the UK version? That's what it says on Wikipedia, but that doesn't mean it's right. This is Wikipedia. Some shit get made up on there. But the score was a great asset to this. It really brought the energy and the adrenaline pumping sequences, especially in the first section. And I keep talking about the first section because I like the story. I like the idea of mainly Sengoku, but the others, they got going to this skyscraper. It's controlled by a computer, so the computer's throwing all these different robots and robotic vehicles against our characters. And out of the evil AI mixed in with anime, over-the-top violence. Some of the dialogue, I actually like some of the dialogue. Like when the commander's threatening the guy to blow his head off, he says, if you don't do this, your head will be filing a divorce against your body. As it blows his head up, a la Suicide Squad or The Running Man or any number of movies that have done that. But yeah, like they're destroying robot vehicles, they're dealing with this big mechanical arm, and the other guy's trying to hack into the computer system. He has this big magnum he puts to the big robot's face and fires it. Like some pretty badass moments. And I liked where the story led to. Spoilers. You come to find out that this one guy that they're supposed to rescue, in fact, is an asshole who killed this other guy. And the guy who died, his body, his skeleton, is connected Lawnmower Man style to the computer system. It's a very cool look. It's like a decomposed skeleton. The bottom half is gone, and it's attached to all these wires. And it can control these wires, and like the lead was pretty badass too, because it could figure out what he can move and how he can jump and where he can be, and it strategized all those maneuvers. So the lead does the thing it never predicted, which is just calmly walk up to it, and it says on like, I'm going to download you straight to hell. And he stabs through the skeleton's head. Like a nice slow-mo, he thrusts his knife thing, and it's a nice shot where it goes through the skeleton's head and out the back, and the pieces of the skull explode. The ending was a bit confusing, because first, he's successful, but because he didn't do something, they upped his sentence 10 more years, so of course he's pissed. He's outside of a window, he suggests he's going to go in there and get his sentence reduced. But then it freezes, and I'm sitting there going, did he die? Did he not die? Did he do it? Did he not do it? I guess he didn't die because he's in the other ones, unless the other ones are prequels. So the way it ended was a bit weird. Because it freezes, then it's the credits, and then it's his blade in the ground, cracked. I'm like, did he die? Did he explode? No, apparently not. He's still alive, but... But this idea of this whole AI intelligence controlling a building, you did a Die Hard type of scenario, only again, it's an AI computer unleashing all these robots against our characters. You could stretch that another... Like, it doesn't need to be over 2 hours, but another... I mean, this is 40 minutes. Another 50 minutes? Yeah. Have 10 minutes of build-up of these 3 characters and have them go floor by floor. Dread style. Dread Recall Urban. Or the Raid Redemption. You know, they go up, they get to the top, and you have that same bit you have at the end here. We're stabbing through the head of this dead person who's connected to all these... Like, it was a cool visual. And if you did that, I think you would have really had a complete and awesome winner on your hands. As is, it's a decent flick. And that's because each episode I thought kind of went down a bit more in quality, at least to me. I mean, the second episode is fine. Like, that's more the mohawk hacker guy. Pretty much... How do I describe it? There's these murders happening. He's hacked into stuff he's not supposed to. Some people get pissed about that. So that, among others, leads... Well, we're going to use this guy Gogou as a test subject for our military robot. And the scenes with the military robot is cool. The first scene we get is this random guy being chased. And then he looks and you see down this dark tunnel. And you just see these extendo metallic arms just rise up and grab him. And I like the idea that you hear these distant footsteps get closer and closer. It's a nice building of suspense. And then the other thing with this military robot, more cyborg, the cyborg, it also has telekinetic powers. Because it opens up a thing, and with a charge, it makes this fucking guy explode. And the blood and piss and ass and whatever just make him explode. And it's like, oh, didn't see that coming. Interesting. And I like the look of the robot. It has these tubes, as if it was Bane in the back of his head. You know, Bane from Batman. Well, the comics, that is. Not the movie. And you do have the other characters, Sengoku and the androgynous guy Benten in there. But they don't really have much to do. They pretty much get to a place, they gotta stay there for a long while, and then get to another place. And they help out at the end. Oh, that's one thing I didn't mention. Sengoku, he has this robot that follows him. That robot is annoying as hell. He is irritating. He is... Like, for example, the guy keeps telling the robot to fuck off or something. Yeah, fuck off. And it just drones on and on about, I did not understand the words fuck off. I looked it up, and the word means to... Like, it just goes this whole diatribe about what fuck means. And I cannot do that because I do not have the genitalia. It's one of those voices like this that you just... When you have that voice, when you have it go on, for a while it gets irritating. It's like a siren. An ambulance. You don't want to hear that shit for a long time. I get it. It's like, if anyone knows WWF... there's a wrestler named Cesaro. Cesaro has the worst, maybe he doesn't now, but he had the worst fucking theme to any wrestler, which is just again, Cesaro, Cesaro. Good wrestler, but they give him like the worst fucking theme ever. And it's like, we don't want to hear that. Shut up. It's just like this robot. Shut up. There's one moment that I swear was an honest to goodness fuck up, and they kept it in there. Because the voice actor is talking, it's like the commander, and he's talking to someone on the computer, and he's talking about, oh, this is a surprise. Like, it really did seem like he generally fucked up. Now, I would say, oh, he must be a really good actor, because it sounded real. But the rest of the voice acting is that sort of bigger, maybe one of those that they're told to act big for an anime, or a dub for an anime. But this one just seemed too natural. Oh, this is a surprise. Like that quick. Not, this is a surprise. I was like, this is a surprise. Like that quick, I'm like, oh, did they really fuck up and they just left it in there? I don't know, maybe not. But Gogou, the mohawk guy, is also protecting this girl he knew in the past who's being chased, but then you find out that she fucked him over, but then she changes her mind and doesn't want to fuck him over, and then the robot attacks them, and ultimately Gogou has to fight this robot amongst this like this tower. And the battle scenes are fun. Some decent animation in there. Like I said, the other two criminals help him out. Like, he's fallen, he's saved because they're in a helicopter and they save him. And then he himself battles. And then you get some cool moments. Like when he realizes sound vibration, the frequency fucks up the robot. And then when he's punching the shit out of it and gets the fuck you uppercut. That's a really good moment. So it's stuff like that that saves it. Like, it's a decent one. I even didn't mind the way it opened, where he's talking to another guy who's trying to get that collar off. Imagine the scene in The Running Man when they did that. But imagine it goes the opposite way. Which you don't see blood. But you get the idea of it. But yeah, again, this one, I would say the stuff with the other two guys where they have to go off and they have to wait until the right time, then continue their mission. It wasn't really the most interesting. It seemed like the hacker character was kind of sitting there with his thumbs, twiddling, dealing with this one girl. I would rather have seen like more of a search and destroy, where this robot kept hounding them every step of the way, kind of like what Nemesis would do to you in the Resident Evil games, or even more of a Terminator, or even that movie Hardware, where it just relentless kept chasing this guy until ultimately he's not going to run anymore, and then fights it head on. I guess I would like more of that direction of the story, because it kind of felt slow at times. It felt like it was kind of drawn out, but the finale of it is fun. The third story, I just wasn't a fan. I didn't care about this female vampire. I don't know why this is slowing down now. I have nothing else on. So, yeah. Can you not slow down? Thank you, webcam. As I was saying, with the third story, with the Benten, the androgynous criminal, this whole female vampire thing I just wasn't a fan of. It seemed like it had to fit stuff in there just to make it 40 minutes. Oh, there's a bit where he's fighting these robot jaguar type creatures. Oh, these random thugs caught him, and he cut one hand off, and he warned them, leave me alone, I won't kill you. And then they do. And this female vampire, she's this immortal because this virus helped being developed and a possible cure for it. And this one older guy wanted a cure for mortality to be immortal. He succeeded. We see him as an old guy, then becomes like almost a new fucking Dracula. And then it's funny, each one of these stories, the main character gets severely injured at the end. Like in the first story, the skeleton to the machine is having all these wires, and they go through parts of our lead character's body. In the second film, the robot gets like a piece into our lead character's body. Here, the vampire is like slicing up the lead character's body. Like each episode, each one, there's like, we gotta have the lead character get severely injured. And you know, each one they man up and destroy the villain. But here again, just something about the story didn't interest me. Maybe because with all the Cyber City stuff, more about computers, AI, robots, the fact that we're now delving into vampire territory just seemed like a kind of a sharp turn. Again, it'd be like if all of a sudden we're dealing with aliens, or all of a sudden we're dealing with werewolves. And it's like, well, wait a minute, we're in this world that's heavily Blade Runner type, again, with robots and all this other stuff. Now we're going to vampire territory. Why? Like, it didn't seem like it fit with the grand scheme of themes and other attributes compared to the first two. And Benten, I just didn't find him that interesting of a character. I don't care if he's androgynous or not. That's not my interest. I don't give a shit about that. But his character just seemed boring, honestly. Like, Sengoku had a very over-the-top personality that's kind of fun to watch. Gogou, me trying to figure out his accent. Here, it just, other than his looks, there's really nothing else interesting about the character to me. It just didn't do anything for me. So that's what I mean. Overall, I liked the music by Rory McFarlane. I liked the rock-centric score. Kept the adrenaline pumping. I think there's a lot of nice pieces of animation, in particular in the first story. Again, I kind of wish this was just one full story than just 3 mini-stories, like an anthology. Because I do think the first story was the most interesting, and I think, again, if you add in scenes of developing these 3 characters, or these 3 characters working together against this big problem, for me, that would have been more interesting than what they did. But as it is, it was worth a look. It was fun. Didn't mind it. You know, you watch all 3. I mean, you could honestly watch the first 2. You don't need to watch the third one, in my opinion. But I mean, if you're curious, you go ahead and watch it. Like I said, I do think the first one is the best one. But yeah, like I said, I like the way this animation looks in this time period. And the dubbing's very over the top. Like a lot of the dubbing. But this one's like, again, did Rob Zombie ghostwrite this script? Or at least this dialogue? But I had fun with that. I had fun for what it was. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.